In the last video, I took you guys with me as I went wheeling in Sand Hollow just outside of St. George, Utah with my buddy Jim, his son Trev, and his solid axle swap Sequoia. I'll be honest with you, Sand Hollow was no joke. I thought that it was going to be a little bit easier than this. For some reason, I pictured Sand Hollow being nothing but, well, sand. Turns out I was wrong. While Sand Hollow does have a lot of sandy spots in it, there are also a lot of really technical off-road trails that go through the mountains here. You get a lot of traction, just kind of like Moab. It's very similar to Moab, and the rocks are very similar, but clearance and tire size really plays a key part of it. Me being on 33s, this was some of the toughest wheeling that I've had to date. Not to mention, it was well over 110 degrees, so it was nice to finally cool off at the end of the day in the waterfall, but I was ready to get to some cooler temperatures. It just so happens that Jim and Trev's trip out west coincides with a trip that I had already planned to meet some buddies of mine outside the San Juan Mountains in Colorado. For the past 3 years now, I've been meeting some of my favorite people from the East Coast out in the San Juan Mountains of Colorado in a trip that we have dubbed East Goes West. It was my job to secure a really nice camp spot outside of Silverton, Colorado for East Goes West 2023, so I packed up my things and headed on down the road. A little different view this morning. I just opened up the hatch for a split second. Bugs immediately attacked my legs. Well, mosquitoes and flies did. Yeah, hatch is closed. My hummingbird's coming to say good morning to me. I'm telling you, it doesn't matter where I'm at, man. Always. Good morning. Man, I slept pretty good last night. It's about 10 o'clock. And it's still kind of dark where I'm at. And the reason is because, well, I'm in the trees. I'm no longer in the desert. So the sun isn't able to just beam in on me. Feels pretty good out here. The temperature's nice. The wind is non-existent. And therefore the bugs, mosquitoes are out in full force, man, as I said earlier. At any rate, I traveled all day into Durango. I'm just in between Durango and Silverton now off of what looked like a cool little trail that goes up and around 550. So I'm going to take that and end up in Silverton today. I'd like to get out and make some coffee, but man, also, it's so easy just to pack up and go right now without making any coffee that I may end up just doing that. So right now, in order to make coffee, I'd have to set the table up that's back there. I'd have to unstrap all that stuff, pull the stove out, pull the coffee out of the Plano box, and then, you know, get the water and then make coffee and do all that. And then reverse the process and put it all up. Well, I'd also have to move this chair because it's in the way, all the shit on top of the stove because it's all in the way. So, you know, I'd have to move a lot of stuff. Now, I talked to a company about getting a drawer system here, and that's going to be the ticket. However, they didn't get the drawer system done in time, so I'm no longer in that area. I think I'm still going to do the drawer system. I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to make a drawer system that sits up maybe about as high as this right here, and has, you know, a drawer about the size of that Plano box right there, and then another drawer about the size of this stove, so that way I can just pull the stove out, and then that drawer have like a flat top. I can set the stove up on top of that and then just start cooking and, you know, get everything I need out of the other bigger drawer. I think that will be an absolute game changer for what I do. Dude, I have to get out of here with the quickness. I'm out here just trying to brush my teeth and the mosquitoes are absolutely swarming me, so it's time to keep it moving, baby. Gotta go. Now, I found this pretty cool little road that actually shoots off of Highway 550 outside of Durango, and then looks like it heads back into the mountains here and then goes along a ridge line and then comes back into 550. It is currently 9:50, so almost 10 o'clock. So yeah, I got some time to kill. Silverton's literally, if I were to go straight there on the highway, probably 30-45 minutes away, so I'm not far. Might as well do some exploring, you know? Damn, road narrows. Damn. How much more narrow can it get? You know, what's funny is I saw earlier on my way to this point, I mean, there's two entrances off the main highway, and this is probably the most aggressive
of the trail that I've seen so far, coming in off of the bottom south entrance, but I saw a minivan up here. If it came from this way, I don't know how it made it. With the lack of clearance and the street tires, I would imagine he would have probably cut a tire, but I don't know. I've seen crazier stuff happen. It's amazing to me the kind of stuff that you'll find out here in these trails out in the wilderness like this, though. As far as the type of vehicles people bring, it's pretty wild. Like, some people even bring Ford vehicles. All right, well, I made it to camp. Temperature is phenomenal, and the scenery is the same. Check it out. This is gonna be a perfect spot for us to hang out right here. I'm super stoked. Everyone should start trickling in either tomorrow or Friday, maybe even Saturday. It is now Wednesday, I believe, so I'm here a bit early. Main reason I came here early, though, is because this spot is, you could probably imagine, gets pretty popular during the weekend. So I wanted to get here, get it secured before everybody got here. And success. I'm glad that I did. I'm glad that I made it. I'm glad that it's open. And I'm glad for beautiful weather. I don't think that I've ever been here this time of year and it not be thunderstorming and raining. So I'm expecting thunderstorms and rain at some point today and every other day that we're here. But as of right now, man, the sky's looking good. There are a few clouds here and there, but it's looking good. The bugs are a little bit worse this year than I've ever seen before, and I don't know if that's just because of the amount of rain that they had all year or what it is, but here at camp in particular, there's these big biting flies. Bad news is that they bite. The good news is that they're fat and slow, so you can swat them and kill them pretty quick. I don't know that I'm going to put any kind of a dent into the population of these things, but I'm definitely going to do my part. You know what I mean? But yeah, as of right now, man, the current situation is I'm just going to sit back, chill, do a little bit of editing I need to catch up on, and yeah, wait for everybody else to get here. Well, I tell you, being up here at high altitudes, man, it kicks in quick. You can feel it. I can already feel being short of breath and all, and then moving around and taking stuff out the truck, I can really feel it. The key is to drink as much water as you possibly can. Just drink water, drink water, drink water. And then when you think you've had enough water, drink some more water. Just keep drinking water. And that is the key to staying ahead of the altitude thing. You're still going to be short-winded, at least until you get used to it. But yeah, That's what you got to do. Drink water. They also sell these oxygen cans that you can get at a lot of places out here. Those actually work pretty well too in a quick pinch. So if you're really feeling it, then pick you up one of those. Depending on where you're at, it may be hard to find them, so I'll just leave a link down in the description below because they do sell them on Amazon. Well, it didn't take long for it to start raining. Like I said, every year I've ever been here in the afternoon, it starts to rain like clockwork. And it's about 4 o'clock, which is right around when it starts to rain. I forgot that I had my macaroni and cheese left from the birdhouse over in Page, so that's what's for dinner with a bologna sandwich. The way I did this was I just put some water down in my skillet here first, got it nice and hot, and then I put in the rest of this macaroni and cheese. And that's how you heat up just about anything when you don't have a microwave, you know? Speaking of water, I checked my water and, well, I'm almost out. Absolute rookie mistake. I meant to get water yesterday while traveling up here. The 2 grocery stores that I stopped at in Durango did not have any of the kind where I fill that thing up. And I meant to look for another and totally forgot. Now I'm going to be out of water. So what that means is tomorrow I'm going to have to get up early, make my way somewhere, find water, and then get back before this spot gets taken. Also, it is time for a pants conversion. Yep. Starting to get a little bit cool out here, a little bit breezy, and a little bit chilly. So pants conversion it is. And it's safe to say this will probably be the last time I see the flamingos in quite some time. Which I won't be mad at, because that'll mean that I'm in cooler temperatures, which cooler temperatures are okay. Not cold, but cooler than 110 and 118 like I was in. So. Also, I forgot to tell y'all about what this guy did. The open road winch here. So earlier today I was at the gas station just kind of plotting my next move, and next thing you know I heard a noise and kind of felt something too, and the only thing I could think of was the winch. So I went out and checked it, and well, you see how far it is out now. It wasn't that far, so somehow or another it activated and let some of the line out. I'm not real sure what's going on with that, but definitely going to keep a close eye on it. I'm probably going to end up putting this on a switch, so that way it's just not even, there's no question whether or not there's power to it or not. So I don't want that thing just, you know, automatically running on its own. Quite weird. If it happens again, I'm probably just going to do away with it altogether, because the last thing you want is some kind of electrical gremlin going on inside your rig, especially when you live in it, you know, and you're out here in the middle of nothing. Franklin, do me a favor, keep an eye on that winch, please, buddy.
Good morning.
I did find out last night that the elevation here is 11,600 and some odd feet, so pretty high up. That would explain why I'm feeling a little bit of a shortness of breath, you know what I mean? The key out here, though, is like I said, you just drink water, drink water, drink water, drink more water. Whenever you think you've had enough water, drink more water, which is one of the reasons that it's so imperative that I gotta leave to go get water. I am a sucker for creamer in my coffee, but I recently took a look at the ingredients list of one of the like flavored creamers that I used to always use, and well, it was horrible. So I've since traded it out for this. Notice the ingredients is pretty simple: organic milk and organic cream. Simple stuff, right? And then for a sweetener, I use honey. Make sure it's 100% honey. This one's actually local to Prescott, Arizona. It's pretty good honey. But at any rate, 100% honey. Make sure it's not cut with high fructose corn syrup. And man, that's just one small way that you can be just a little bit more healthy, you know? Now, if you wanted to, then you could add things like vanilla or, you know, other flavoring or something like that. I don't know how to do that naturally. I do know vanilla, you can add like vanilla bean maybe and some vanilla extract, but you have to be careful with that too. You should look into where vanilla comes from, artificial vanilla. It's quite entertaining and somewhat gross too. Give it a gander. If I'm being honest with you, I'm a bit nervous about leaving everything. I never do this, so yeah, I'm a bit nervous about it. I mean, if all that just randomly takes off, it's not a huge deal. The hardest thing to replace would definitely be the propane tank, just by way of oh, actually, I need to bring that with me. Whew. About messed up again. All right, well, not any less nervous. The hardest thing to replace out of this whole situation would be the Everest 2. I can get it sometimes at local stores, but we're gonna hope for the best. It doesn't really look like a bad neighborhood, but you never know, you know? Since I had to head into town to grab some water and some propane, I decided to go ahead and grab a shower too. There's a laundromat inside of Durango that has a really nice shower here. I want to say it's about like $6 or something like that. Anyway, it's a reasonable amount of money to pay for a shower, and I hadn't had one in a few days, so I figured I'd go ahead and freshen up, you know? Hell yeah, back to camp. All my stuff's still here. I was able to get a shower, get some water, get some propane. We're ready to go, baby. Well, it doesn't look like we're gonna be without storms today, so I got both the awnings set up for maximum coverage. I'm currently working. I know that sounds crazy, and that's my view out the office here. This is the office, and that's the drink of choice. If you can't tell, it says that I am copying items into a folder named August 2022. That doesn't even begin to explain how far behind I am on making content. I am actually 1 year even further behind than that. So I'm working on stuff from June and July of 2021. I know. I need to get some content out. I'm working on it. To kind of give you guys an update while I'm just sitting here working, basically in 2021 we were full-time in the RV. We traveled all the way around the United States, ended up in Branson, Missouri. I got a phone call in Branson, Missouri to go work with Action Tracks at Overland Expo East. I took that on, went to Overland Expo East in like November, something like that. And then from there, Christy decided that she didn't want to be on the road any longer. After Christy decided that she didn't want to be on the road any longer, I decided to continue on in just the 4Runner. I did all of 2022 in just the 4Runner. In January, I left out, headed out west, went to King of the Hammers, then came all the way back out east for a show, and then went back out west again and did a whole lot of romping around in between. It's now July 2023, and I've been on the road since January of 2022 in the 4Runner alone. So that's the current situation. That's what's happening, and that's what's led me to trips like I'm on right now that you guys are watching. Stay tuned. I'm still producing content from Full-Time Living, which was us in the RV, and then I'll continue to post the content all from 2022, and eventually I'll get caught up. This will be out far before any of that content's out. So there's a lot of cool stuff in there, though. I went to Moab. I did Hell's Gate in Moab. I did a couple different cool events. I did a really cool Land Cruiser event. There's a whole bunch of different stuff in there, and some of the stuff kind of got lost in a couple different things. One, I had some data debacles where whole big bricks of data, if you will, got lost at one time. And then two, the iPhone transitioning the data from the iPhone to the computer would change the date created, therefore really messing up the timeline, and it's been really hard to try to figure that out. So bear with me, but all that stuff is coming down the pipeline. All I ask you to do is like, subscribe, and hit the bell for notifications. You'll be notified every time I make a new video. This dude's doing a little dancing in the wind. This is the first time I've had this thing up in any kind of wind, so I'm hoping for the best. I know how talking shit in a camera works, and I know how the wind out here works. There will be a shit whip of a wind like you wouldn't believe in no time flat. It'll be completely calm 1 second, and then whoop-pow, a big ass thing of wind come and just rip awnings to shred. I've had it happen on 3 different occasions to 3 different awnings. Well, I've had it happen on multiple occasions, but I've had awnings out 3 different times, and they just got completely shit whipped by the wind. I'm pretty particular to this awning. I like this awning a lot, and in order to preserve it, I'm going to stake it down as best as possible. So I went ahead and threw out some more steaks. Cooking a nice simple meal tonight. Going to make me a chicken sandwich. I'm using this Ajika Georgian season, and this stuff is so good. Also a little bit of salt, a little bit of Cajun, and Montreal chicken for sure. This goes on, anytime I cook chicken, this goes on it. Then I'm gonna hook that up on some Texas toast, make a little chicken melt with the cheese. Oh yeah. That's a proper chicken melt right there. About a year ago, I was staying at Eric's house over in Denver, and his neighbor gave me a big old chunk of beeswax, and I split it with Kurt and Jen and the Van fam because I didn't need that much. And I've been carrying it around without really knowing what I could do with it, but I just found a use for it. Now, obviously, I know there's tons of uses for beeswax, but this is what I'm about to use it for. The zippers on these awnings just get filled with all kinds of nastiness, and they become really hard over time. So I'm gonna run some beeswax across it. Well, that helped it out pretty good. Let it close right on up. Y'all see I got a big old chunk of this stuff. Leave some comments down below. What's some more good uses for beeswax out here? Well, it kind of sounds like a V8 coming up. Wonder if that's old Jim and Trev. Yeah, there he is. What up? After we split up in St. George, Jim and Trev hung around Utah for just a little bit longer, and then they decided to stop by for one more night of camping on their way back out east. I mean, you can take the boy out the south, but you can't take the south out the boy. What you know about them fried bologna sandwiches? At 11,000 feet and climbing. We're getting ready to head down the mountain, over the mountain, and into Telluride and get some of the best pizza in the world. Let's roll. Ophir Pass, or Ophir Pass, is probably one of the most famous trails in this area. And the reason is, while it doesn't offer much by way of technical off-roading, it offers some absolutely epic views of the San Juan Mountains as you snake your way over, around, and through them to get from Silverton to Telluride. Now, even though this is not a real technical pass, you still want to make sure that you pay attention because you are on very narrow and steep shelf roads. If you look real closely, you can see the remnants of somebody that wasn't paying attention. Also, keep in mind, anytime you're out on the trails in the San Juan Mountains, just like everywhere else, uphill has the right of way. So if you're going down, be sure to yield to uphill traffic. The chipmunks love Jim's truck for whatever reason. He's probably gonna climb up onto the tire here. Yep, there he goes, right up inside. Right up in my suspension. They love the Sequoia.
Sorry, on camera.
It's okay.
They're coming, they're coming, they're coming.
On photos, on video.
Everybody finally made it to camp. East Coast West 2023 is finally underway.
So, yeah, worked out, rubber.
And your color. You see that? And your color.
We spent most of the first night just hanging around the fire and catching up, as one does whenever you haven't seen each other in over a year. Patch, what's wrong with these people with these can crushers, man, attached to the side of their rig? They attach them to their trailers, their little off-road trailers and stuff, and they still do the same thing that you can do with just your hands.
That's right.
That's right. The next morning we were up bright and early and ready to hit the trails. This is wheeling in the San Juans, the monocle edition though, because it's all these Land Cruisers, but that's all right. You know, Apple's a little busy. She's got leather seats and sunroof and all that good stuff too, so she can fit in just perfect. While I shot the majority of this video, I did use some clips from Patch as he was shooting video for his own version of events. Head on over to Cruiser Patch on YouTube to watch the entire video of this trip from his perspective.
You can see. Holy shit,
dude.
About fucked up.
That would have been a fun fall.
Fall forward, you know.
Well, I almost drove my truck off a fucking a while ago.
It's time to wake up, dude.
Tell you what, this is the dustiest I have ever seen the San Juans. So it's probably the driest I've ever seen it too. But Also, if you notice, there's a new crack on the windshield. There was a small crack on the windshield, but it's grown since getting in the colder weather. So, got that happening. Now cut hard this way. There you go. On Poughkeepsie is actually open after all, so we're headed there now. We're gonna give it a shot and see what we can do. Whoa! So this is Poughkeepsie Wall, the infamous Poughkeepsie Wall. And it's much drier this time than it has been the previous 2 times that I've been here. First time that I came here, I tried to go up it and ended up having to get winched out. Well, here we are. And if you could see the back glass right now, it would be straight dirt. That's straight dirt. That is all sky. We are stuck trying to go up that the Poughkeepsie Wall, or Poughkeepsie. I don't know what it is, but I didn't make it up. Jeeps didn't make it up, and Land Cruisers didn't make it up. I'm waiting on winch now. Normally I give things 3 tries. This is way, way, way too sketchy. Still passenger?
Yeah. You're good, straight. Just straighten up and let the winch take you.
I'm hooked on something in the middle. I'm hooked on something. I'm hooked. Something in the middle.
You'll go over. I was keep line. Oh, back up!
Straight back. And the second time I didn't even attempt it just because it was so wet, but yeah. First I'm gonna hook up my winch.
Right.
What's he saying? Go back?
I think we are with the brain.
Yep. What's that?
Well, I think with this rain we're fucked.
Man,
What's up?
I'm never gonna be able to get through the wall. Like, period. I've never seen it done by any of us.
Well, it looks, I don't know, it looks worse this year to me.
Yeah. What's up?
I'm gonna get up that damn wall one day.
Yeah,
One day it's gonna happen. And it's gonna be prior to 35.
we had our, if it wouldn't have been, if the Jeep guy wouldn't have been there,
We would have had our chance at a dry wall.
yeah,
Yeah. I mean, technically I have made it up the wall.
right.
It just was under somebody else's power. It was, and it sounded like the whole bottom end of the truck was getting ripped out.
Ooh.
That first line you were on was the line. When you moved over more to the left side, that's not it.
Yeah.
Because there's a little, on that right side, right before your rear tire starts going up, there's a little
Yeah.
dip, and the rear tire wants to hit that, and then you lose everything.
I feel like if you can get enough wheel speed to just go up that one little hump on the left rear
Yeah.
without sliding too much, then you'd be good to go. But the problem is if you do slide while you're trying to get wheel speed, then you fall down in that hole.
Right.
End up going up in the air.
Yeah, man. That's what he started to do.
Yeah. You know I'd help, but ain't much I can do about that. Too many hands get involved and it starts getting to be a nightmare, you know.
What kind of compressors you got?
Too many cooks in the kitchen, right?
That's right.
Yeah.
You know, it wouldn't be right for this trip if we didn't blow a bead or blow a tire right when it was raining.
That's right, man.
Every single time.
East goes west.
Yeah, last year the same exact thing happened, and we were up on top of Black Bear, and I think Patch actually cut your tire, didn't you?
Yeah.
And they had to get out in the rain, the hail, the lightning, the thunder, and change it pretty quickly.
I don't think I've ever seen you clean anything off the truck before.
Current situation, it is raining and hailing or sleeting, whatever this is. We're just before the steps, and right now one of the guys cut his tire, so they're changing the tire. So that's the current situation. Steps are going to be fun, to say the very least. After getting his tires squared away, Zach decided it was his turn to tackle the Poughkeepsie Wall. And this is his first time even seeing this obstacle, much less trying to attempt it, so kudos to Zach. And not only did he attempt it, but he attempted an entirely different line that we've been trying for the past 3 years coming out here. Damn. Hey, I'm just gonna keep a little momentum right there. Okay. Keep to that side, and then once you get up onto it, cut it driver immediately. There you go, driver. There you go. Hell yeah. And he made it with that new line. Hell yeah. All right, so keep it straight. Once you get your back up here, cut it driver. Straight, driver. All right, keep going straight. All right, now driver.
I don't think it went in far enough.
All right, go back down. Yeah. Go back down and reset. There you go. We can just run cable from right there, it'd be a lot easier. Got it. Yeah. Got it.
Here, Patch, I'll run it. You got your camera.
Okay. So the cool thing about Poughkeepsie Wall is that they've got pre-mounted winch points. And where he's at right now, just being high-centered, it's going to be a little easier for us just to run winch. I was anxious to try out this new line that everybody was making it up with, and I felt for sure that Apple could make it up no problem. Is that straight?
I want you to cut past
Reset.
How about that?
Too low. I'm turtled up.
Honestly, dude, if you back up and turn a little driver, you can get your passenger tire pulled over. Nah, man. Does that look bad on your side, Pat? It looks bad on my side.
Yeah, go ahead and pull on.
Okay. You only got a front skid?
Well, I got a gas skid too, but we on it.
You just cut your exhaust in half, man.
Is that what happened?
Yeah, that's why it sounds the way it does.
Just gotta help him out.
Yeah, you're on your gas tank skid. There's a rock that's got your muffler pin.
Yeah.
So basically, if you go forward, the whole muffler is going to get ripped off your truck.
So I need to go back.
You need to go back.
Can you go pull the line?
Yeah.
I just don't want to fall down in this hole.
Oh, yeah. Hey, Patch, just watch his back.
Turn driver. Yep. Turn driver. A little bit more driver. And go back. Okay. Alright.
You're totally good.
Now you got a big old hole there on that side. You can chuck a big rock and it'll jump you over.
Can you get a rock down in there?
Yeah.
Be on that side over there.
On this side over here?
Yeah. Put your back
Don't move.
back right, I mean.
I'm just going to go ahead and go on record saying this. If you ain't on 35s or better, I don't think you have any business being on Poughkeepsie Wall.
There you go.
Thanks, fellas.
Yeah.
I need those 35s.
Yeah, I think that would do you some good, man.
Patch, that winch don't sound too good, does it?
It doesn't sound like a winch.
It's only one use, man. Well, I did it again, and like last time, I had to be winched out. 35s, man. Apple needs 35s.
We'll need some mud tires. I'm gonna send him on a different line here. Attaboy.
Hey, you know where the Starbucks is?
Yeah, it's just around the corner from the Dunkin'.
Oh yeah, I need to get my nails done too when I'm out there.
Along this trail, Zach found this optional line here to take that was a little bit more challenging than what everybody else did, and he made it, so you know I had to follow suit, right?
I think I'm just getting stuck in that hole right there. I just don't think that I have the height to get through it.
Yeah, it took a little bit of momentum and then staying in it and kind of as you're going up, turning passenger.
What Zach's saying is you got to get a running start.
it'll let off. Keep going, go, go, go. No passengers. Nice. Hell yeah, brother. That's right.
So this is sort of a tradition, me cooking jambalaya and it raining. But hey, gotta carry on, man. Man, you know it wouldn't be East Coast West without some jambalaya, huh? Gotta make you boys some jambalaya right here. And this right here is way more than money, dude.
So, I mean, and we're not here.
So what's all in there?
Let's see, you got some Cajun dooley sausage, chicken, shrimp, rice, tomatoes, poblano peppers, onions, and some seasonings. And love, both pots.
That's a beautiful thing.
That's a beautiful thing. That's a beautiful thing, man. It's beautiful.
Ready for some of that jambalaya, I tell you what.
Yeah, actually, I am. He's like, I think he's excited.
Zach, you ready for some of that jambalaya?
Yeah, I am. You ready?
Yeah, man. Oh, thanks.
Yeah, buddy.
Appreciate it.
Uh-huh. I
I'll
only got
run-
one spoon, though.
Oh, that's okay. I'll eat it, you know. I'll figure it out. Sean, you excited for some of that?
Oh, man. Yeah. It's been a long day. Yeah, you could say that.
Yeah, it's been a long day, he said.
Just get you 1 or 2 bites of that damn jambalaya and some of that beer in your system. You'll be all right. The jambalaya is always a hit, and it's kind of a tradition at this point. There's nothing better than sharing great food around a good fire with some great people. So we did just that. But first thing in the morning, it was back at it again. We were ready to go wheeling through the San Juans. So Apple's got a bit of a problem here in the back. I think we're gonna try to fix that real fast while we're waiting on everybody. Lee, what you think will fix that?
I think this will fix it.
Hell yeah. Yeah, should we cut before the muffler or right after it?
I said before.
Do you have 2 mufflers?
2 mufflers? What do you think this is?
A Land Cruiser.
Hell no.
Whoa!
And we didn't even cut the tire.
That's right.
Hell yeah. Franklin is my spotter. Franklin was in the middle of the lake bed at King of the Hammers this year, and the kids were running around them on one wheels. People were running over them by way of long travel trucks and buggies. And then somebody put Franklin inside of the fire pit. And I said, hell, Franklin can't ride in the fire pit, man. You can't catch Franklin on fire. So I stuck him up on the front bumper, and now he gets to see the world and spot me through all the difficult shit. That's Franklin.
He's not looking so good.
Franklin looks good after a car wash or two, mainly a rainstorm because we don't do much washing. He's missing an ear. He's, you know, he's been through a thing or two. He knows a thing or two because he's seen a thing or two. You know what I mean? Kind of like Apple.
Uh-huh. Yeah,
Best seat in the house, though.
that's right. over yonder, Bowling's AC stopped working, so Enrique's helping him out with some tech stream. Oh, man.
That shit got stuck to the roof of your mouth just looking at it. Sargie's trying to help me out. He's got a tech stream, and I've had an airbag light and a seatbelt light flashing since I sprayed out the inside with water. So we're hoping that this has the ability to reset that. So what, are you going to try to clear it, you think?
Yeah, I'll try to clear it first, but I'll also check the rest of the menus to see if there's anything else.
Hell yeah. Well, we cleared the code, but it came right back. So luckily I was able to pick up a sensor though at a junkyard in Phoenix. So I think I'll just swap them out when we get to camp. Back here at camp, I'm doing a little reorganization on Apple here because, as you can expect, whenever you do one of these crazy wheeling trips, go over all these different obstacles, all the stuff inside here just gets jostled all around. I've laid it all out and reorganizing it. And I also took this time to replace this bad boy. So this is the occupant detection sensor, and well, it's been bad since I shorted it out, I think, by spraying out the truck. And I got one a couple months ago off of a 4Runner in a junkyard, but it's been riding around in the glove box, so I finally got a chance to put it in. And guess what? No more airbag light. Bada bing, bada boom, baby.
Ain't much of a breakfast guy, but we got wild hog sausage,
Fuck yeah.
farm fresh eggs.
Okay, let's do
that
it.
we've got to cook tomorrow.
I've got some maple sausage too.
And it's enough for everybody.
Hell yeah. And I got some extra eggs if we need more.
And it gives us more room in the fridge.
And it gets a good turd pop.
Like, they're literally like the eggs come from out North Alabama. Like they come right out of
Right
the
at
chicken's
chicken's
eggs.
ass.
laid one today for the first time in 4 days.
An egg?
Shit. It looked like a coiled up indigo snake.
Indigo snake.
Yeah. Was it down here or the commode? No, it was up here. Just went on the other side of the road.
We've got each other's backs.
But we can also tell each other to shut the fuck up.
Yeah, too.
You know what I'm saying?
Gotta be transparent.
You know?
Oh, yeah.
It just works out. We're
I
just
mean-
a family.
After hanging around the fire and consuming some cold ones and getting a hold of some of Colorado's wildflowers, it was time to break out the lasers. This is the first time I've ever put the lasers on the inside of a tent, but I must say, it is pretty damn cool. An awesome addition to camp, and I'll leave a link down in the description for them because I highly recommend for everybody. Little deer sausage. It's kind of also a tradition here at East Goes West. Brought to you by our boy Bolin. What do you think about that deer sausage, man? That's good.
Delicious.
It was supposed to be wild hog sausage, but you know, we'll make do with some venison. Day 3. You know, being able to trail gimbal is a serious talent.
You moving well?
Yeah, I am, but Apple just stalled out up here on the hill, so I'm trying to figure that out. I took that thing off last night, so maybe that has something to do with it. The system's got to relearn, I don't know. Apple just cut off going down this hill. I'm not real sure why. I do know that the air filter is quite dusty, 1, and 2, I had Banks Pedal Monster installed on here for probably the past, I don't know, 3 or 4 weeks. And I took it off yesterday just because it's nothing wrong with it. It works as it's intended. I just don't really care for its intended purpose, and thought that the truck did a little bit less jumping in the lower gears, like 2nd and 4 low. Did a little less jumping without it, so I took it off. I'm wondering if that's got something to do with why it stalled out back there. It's Toyota. Run it till it don't run, and then figure out why it stopped, you know? That's kind of the name of the game. Day 3 of East Goes West 2023, and man, it's been awesome so far. We've done a great bit of trail riding. I don't know how much. I haven't really been keeping track of any of the tracks or the mileage or anything like that. It hasn't been without, you know, some sort of anxiety, so to speak. Yesterday, Lee had an issue with, I think, the Panhard correction or something along those lines, or related to the Panhard correction that he's got. And he had to work on that, so we had to kind of cut off the trail at a different spot than we wanted to, so he could do that. Also, Matt's AC compressor clutch, believe it or not, just rattled off. There's a lot of jarring that goes on during these trips and hitting these trails and stuff like that, so I guess it's not too incredibly surprising, but yeah, so the AC compressor clutch just kind of came off. Sean hasn't been able to wheel with us at all. He drove all the way out here, and unfortunately he's got an issue going on with his some kind of Land Cruiser thing. It's like an auto height adjustability or something, ACH or AHC. So he's having a problem with that, so he hadn't been able to wheel with us. And other than that, I mean, everything's, you know, moving right along. Definitely determined that Apple needs 35s. It's like I should be able to do a 35-inch by 11.5, so it'd be like a skinny 35 with a little bit of modification, primarily the body mount chop and the Viper cut, which I don't need anymore because I no longer have the front bumper. If I could do 35s with just the body mount chop, and I think I need a set of wheels too, because the set of wheels that I have do not offer enough offset. So if I get the TRD Pro wheel, which offers enough offset, I believe, and then do 35 by 11.5s, then your boy would be on 35-inch tires, and it would be phenomenal. So I'm gonna look into that heavily. But at any rate, I'm going down the hill, meet these guys for another day of wheeling. Let's roll. After an easy day of wheeling with some beautiful scenery, it's time to head back up to camp, where we got to enjoy another great meal and camaraderie around the fire.
Fucking Zach, I hope you put enough water in this, you know what I'm saying?
Oh, we got more right behind you.
It's too late. Party over. We're committed, motherfucker. Bowling.
Night 3. Lee, tell us what you got, man.
We're getting on a little bit of this Alfredo sauce with some chicken.
We got a
some of
sous
this
chef over
necktie balls,
Sous chef.
necktie pasta.
Hey, is the pasta
Bow tie, bro.
Is the pasta done, Lee?
Hell yeah, it's al dente.
And you know these
Flashing lights, don't make me dizzy. Guitars.
It appears that there's a storm coming up over the mountain. Day 4? I don't know what day it is. At any rate, today we're getting up, we're getting packed up. We're not going to do a whole lot of trail running today. I think we're just going to head over into Telluride, where we're going to get some of the best pizza ever, because these guys agree with me that it is the best pizza ever.
Show off that seatbelt stain.
I mean, you know, I'm just trying to keep it real, real dirty.
That is horrible, man.
This is what I mean when they say the dirty South. We fixed to get some of the best pizza you ever had in your life, though. Have you had it?
I've actually not had it, man. Last time I went over to that one.
That's a damn shame.
The High Pie. Matt Huey wanted to go over there with his kids.
Yeah, because y'all were anxious. Y'all
well,
couldn't wait.
I don't know what his. We were. I mean, there was so much going on.
It was cold, it was rainy.
But we're here now. We're gonna try it.
Hell yeah.
Huey will get it next year.
Well, I challenge anybody and everybody to send your competitors to me, and I'll be the judge. But Brown Dog Pizza in Telluride is the best pizza in the world.
That's a bold statement.
That is.
Normally what would happen is we would take Black Bear Pass down into Telluride. Unfortunately, Black Bear Pass was closed this year because the powers that be decided to keep it that way. We did, however, get to go see Bridalveil Falls before heading back up to camp for one last dinner. Got a little hot dog action for dinner tonight. We got Zach over here trying 37s on his 100 series. That's a heavy amount of motivation that I don't have here tonight at camp. What I do have motivation for, though, is this right here. I don't know if you guys have ever had this yellow slaw, but oh my God, the stuff is good. And just like that, the east went west. The next day, everybody got up and broke camp. However, Zach and I decided to hang together, go over across the mountain into Moab, and hit some of the hardest trails I've ever done in my life. Stay tuned for that video as it's coming up next. I really appreciate you guys watching. Hopefully you enjoyed this video. If you did, be sure to hit that like button. If you want to see more videos like it, hit the subscribe button. Be sure to ring the bell for notifications. And until next time, you guys keep hanging in there like a hair on a biscuit. And remember, you can be happy if you've a mind to. Peace, y'all.